Okay. Thank you so much, Florence, for those incredible insights. Like you reflected looking around the room today, it's amazing to imagine the growth of WikiWomen from 2007 to this point. We have the privilege of hearing from all of you online and in person. And whilst I read 3 reflections from our online participants, I'd like to invite our in-person panelists to share some reflections on the WikiWomen Summit with us. If you take a look around the venue, there are standing mics in each of the rows. And we welcome you just to share some brief reflections for 1 or 2 minutes at the microphones. We'd love to hear from you. Whilst we wait for you, I would like to read some comments from Naoko Kizu online, who reflects, Wikimania lunch. Then we sat on a hallway and we ate our lunch bags. Then we thought there were a lot of us. But now, how we look like in a small number compared to what we see now in the room. So times have passed. Naoke Kizu also reflects, I love to see racial diversity on the stage. In Boston in 2006 or 7, I was the only Asian woman in the venue. There were Asian males though. New York Times wrote an article that there was only 1 or 2 black people on site, which we sort of took as a criticism. But now we've reached there. I love to see that. Kritsolina reflects, I saw a post yesterday. When you are searching for programmers on Google image search, you just get white men. If you search for women, you only get white women. And only if you specifically search for Asian women or black women, you get these faces. It is different if you do this search on Commons, and I am so happy about this. And then the final reflection from our online participants, I'm still waiting for some of our audience members to come up to those standing mics, from Naoko Kizu also reflects, either our sex or gender or ethnicity or race being only somewhat a problem, then you are at risk, not you as an individual, but something nameless or representative of a marginalized something. You are easily forgettable. Isolation doesn't work for good. To get visibility, quantity is what matters. So thank you so much to our online participants. We hear you, we see you. We are here for intersectional feminism and representation across race, ability, class, status, ethnicity, and migration status. It's so wonderful to hear your thoughts. Our audience in person. Anyone have some reflections to share with all of us? 1 minute per person at the standing mics. I see someone standing. I'm crossing my fingers. Oh. No? Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone. If you do have any questions or reflections or comments that you'd like to leave with our organizers, Vanj, Padilla, and Rosie, Stephenson-Goodknight, please feel free to find them on @WikiWomen 2023 on X, or formerly known as Twitter, and also on the Etherpad, and we'll be sure to have them engage with you. I'd like to hand over to Rosie and Vanj for the closing comments.
You're going to hear me say it now for the last time. She probably doesn't need an introduction. Nataliia Tymkiv has been editing Wikipedia since 2015. The next year, 2016, Nataliia was elected as a board member of the Wikimedia Foundation, where she is now chair since 2021. Natalia's passion as a WikiWoman is to be able to write about anything she likes or is interested in without being judged that the topics she chooses are not fitting for a woman. So she sees gender-related work as a way to get rid of perceptions and biases by including more female editors and making them representative of the communities. Ladies and gentlemen, Nataliia Tymkiv.
Hello, everyone. So my part is in a bit final reflections from the Board of Trustees, and that's going to be like one sentence closer to the end of my speech. I actually wanted to tell you that I am privileged in a way that the most important male in my life, my father, was supportive of me being myself. He was encouraging me to be myself. He was not, maybe he had some ideas about what I should become, but he never told me those roles. So when I got out of my bubble, it was a big surprise for me to find out that actually there are roles that I'm expected to do. There are things that people believe that because I'm a female, then I have some kind of a privilege because my good looks can make me, get me less work or, you know, something else. And that was like a surprise to me for which I was not prepared. And when I joined Wikipedia, that was also a surprise to me that the comments on me becoming an admin on the nomination page were like, you don't need this. You need to have life. You need to have like a family, like life. You don't need this. So for me, it was like discovering the whole other world where actually encyclopedias were less about females and more about males, which I never noticed. I was discovering my own biases, which were in my education and everything else. And Wikipedia really helped me to understand and move from being like, yeah, everybody's, you know, the same, to understanding that no, everybody is not the same, because just at the moment of birth, a lot of things are being decided for you without your even involvement in those things. So I actually came to Wikipedia with thinking that's a hobby, where I didn't have any opinion about these things, and I had no idea about gender gaps, to organizing in 2017 in Ukrainian Wikipedia for the first time a thematic month writing about females. And the comments we received from participants were like, that's the first time I also thought about that. So let's change that. Let's make sure that we are actually paying attention to these things. And now when I'm reading English Wikipedia articles, I'm really noticing that with females, it's usually about to whom they are married, to whom they gave birth to, with whom they were friends, but if these friends were males. And, you know, like once you see those lenses, you just can't take it off. You just notice it everywhere. And that's difficult. That's difficult to live because I have a small daughter, and I want her generation just not know about all these things. Whether it would be possible to do during my lifetime, I don't know. But not trying is a bad thing. So I actually wanted to mention that I see a few areas, a few gender gaps. One is in content. The content is more easily probably to see because you can actually count and you can see the percentage. And it's more visible for everyone once you notice it. But there is also a gender gap in editors, which is more difficult to detect because we just don't know in a lot of cases. And we can just deduct that there is a gender gap, especially big because some topics are just not covered by anyone. And then there is gender gap in leadership, in governance structures. And that's something that I think that on behalf of the board, I can say that that's something that we should strive to actually change, because with those changes, there would also be changes maybe in other areas, but we should not forget about that. And all of these gaps require different resources, different investment, different approaches. And of course, it's not easy to do, and it would be different also with cultural, because in some cultures, it's even less possible to feel motivated, encouraged to do changes and to do things, because then you also need to have more obstacles just to overcome. So with that, I would like to say that this is something that probably we are trying to change by encouraging and by trying to create even kind of safe spaces for people to be able to get together and maybe share something and feel that we are growing rather than not, that there is some progress and we can have allies. Thank you for having me. I thank you for this event, and I hope that it's going to be continued in other events that we are having. Thank you.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. It's time for us to close the WikiWomen Summit.
So emotional. We'd like to thank everyone who have participated in the first ever WikiWomen Summit in Wikimedia, Singapore. Our objective is for this to become a tradition and a fixture, a permanent fixture in every Wikimania.
Some special thank yous. Many of you know it as speaker management. You've been getting emails from speaker management reminding you for a photo or reminding you for a quote or upload something to pre-talks, and that's been handled by someone named Elena. I don't know if she's in the room, but if she is or isn't, let's give her a round of applause because she's been stellar. Without Lisa in the booth here, and she's been with us from the very start, you can imagine how this would have flopped. And last but not least, there's a person whom we owe a really big hand of applause, the person whose idea it was to have this WikiWomen Summit at Wikimania. His name is Butch. He's one of the core team for this Wikimania. When you see him, say thank you to him.
Yes, thank you so much, Butch, for giving us this opportunity. And now, for the photo, which is the historical photo for the first ever WikiWomen Summit, may we ask everyone to please come here so that we can take a picture of all the WikiWomen, and then our backdrop is the big screen over here. So may we ask our partners, our allies, the men in the room, to please take a picture of us. So maybe we can go down.
Yeah. And while you're walking, a friendly reminder, 5 o'clock opening ceremony. Let's all be here for that. And the WikiWomen lunch this Saturday. You don't want to miss it.